from that foot injury that he suffered back in Week 5. Jonathan Gannon said that the injury isn't season-ending, and Murray should be able to return once he's healed. However, will there be a place for him is the question, as Arizona's offense has shown improvement, a lot of it, with Jacoby Brissett under center. So once Kyler Murray is healed, now we're all like, is he going to play for the Cardinals or is he going to go elsewhere? What is next for Kyler Murray? I can imagine this news of all the compliments Jacoby Brissett is getting can't be the best for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray's done playing for the Cardinals. I believe that Jacoby Brissett has played better than Kyler Murray has this year. This offense has played better under Jacoby than Kyler. And Marvin Harrison looks like the guy that was the top 5 pick with Jacoby rather than with Kyler. Here's the thing. Kyler's an unbelievably physically talented human being. There will be a home for Kyler Murray. I don't know where that home will be. I just don't believe it's going to be in Arizona. I think Arizona's got this very interesting situation right now where they're 3-5. They're really a boneheaded play from being 4-4 and a little bit more in the playoff race. And under their general manager, Monty Austinfort and Jonathan Gannon, they've done a good job. There's encouraging stuff happening in Arizona. And so if you're those two people that aren't attached to Kyler's past, it seems like you're trending in a direction that's different than Kyler. I would say this. There's right now, November 6th or something like that, there's realistically 4 teams that we know no-brainer will need new quarterbacks next year, and probably another 4 that will likely. The Jets, the Raiders, the Browns, and the Saints already are going to sit here and say, we got to find a starting quarterback. And then there's teams like Miami, there's going to have question marks. Pittsburgh's, there could be a question mark. The Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think there's a little bit of like unknown at that position for the, not the remainder of this season, but 2026. Kyler's going to have a home because he's just crazy talented. I just don't think it's in Arizona.
Well, his time and you went first and said it, like he's done in Arizona. Like this isn't about whether or not your foot heals. This is about whether or not you want to stand on the sideline.
But do you think he's done as a starter?
In the league? Absolutely not. Kyler Murray is going to play somewhere else next year. And when you are that talented, when you are a guy who could do the multitude of things that Kyler Murray can do to create plays when plays aren't there, there's going to be a spot for you. And you know this, like I know this, Dan. When you're drafted number 1 overall, you have to exceedingly prove you're not good at football before anybody will truly believe it outside of the building you're in.
Sure.
It's why Baker Mayfield's still in this league, even though Sam Darnold is a 3rd overall pick. It's why he's still in this league. It's why Mac Jones has gotten other opportunities. And so Kyler Murray will have that. What will Kyler Murray change? And I'm not inside that building, right? But when you hear the things that are glowingly said about Jacoby Brissett, you always think to yourself, what is that in comparison to Kyler? Why are they pointing to these things in particular? The leadership, the communication, the feeling around the building, the ability to run the offense efficiently. These are things you expect a starting quarterback to do. These are things you expect a franchise guy to do. So if Jacoby Brissett is changing the mood of this team by doing these simple things, Dan, that we expect every quarterback to be able to do, what is that saying about the quarterback he's replacing? And I think that's the bigger conversation, how Kyler removes some of those question marks going forward over the play on the field.
You're on point, RC, because here's the deal. Jacoby Brissett, for all intended purposes, has been a journeyman quarterback. We know that he's good. We know that he's had moments where he's produced or whatever, but he's been at a lot of different places. To be in Arizona and to see your teammates happy to have you, you can't help if you're the supposed face of a franchise who happens to play that position that you're being replaced by because you're injured and the person that's there is so welcomed by everybody else. You can't help but feel like, what does that say about you and how people feel about you? We also have to take into consideration that the guy was drafted in 2019. Gannon and these guys have arrived after 2023. And so as a result, they feel no loyalty, no connection to Kyler Murray in himself, especially since he hasn't had a really all-pro year since 2021. And so the die has been cast for all intended purposes. Do I think that Kyler Murray is a starter in this league elsewhere? Absolutely. For all of those teams that you mentioned, Cleveland and Vegas, the New York Jets, obviously, the New Orleans Saints, of course. I'd add a few more teams to that mix. Now, if I'm the New Orleans Saints, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to commit a crime. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find out where Kyler Murray is. I'm going to have him kidnapped. I'm going to make sure that I get him in a place where he signs on the dotted line so he can come and save me as a quarterback, as a franchise. Because Spencer Rattler ain't gonna do the trick for you. You got to do something. Yeah, I got to do anything that I can to get a quarterback. I don't give a damn what I got to do. Whatever. The point is, you got to do something, okay? Anything. I mean, my Lord, you can't tell me that Kellen Moore isn't sitting there asking, what the hell was I thinking about taking this job? Because New Orleans is bad. And New Orleans is bad because they don't have a quarterback. We all know what time it is. So they are in desperate need of it. Other teams are too, but not like them. Not like them. I mean, they got to do something. So Kyler Murray is definitely going to be a starting quarterback somewhere else, but it can't be Arizona because Arizona has basically let him know, they don't mind the thought of you leaving. They really don't.
Dan, how much for a quarterback, right? Like, so much was about that Cliff Kingsbury connection with Kyler Murray. And when you listen to Jonathan Gannon talk, especially this season, he don't have no BS with him right now, right? He's about team. He's about accountability. How much of them being willing to depart from Kyler has to do with who the head coach and GM are now?
Oh, I think it's a huge deal. I think it's a huge reason why. I mean, Jonathan Gannon, when you talk with him, to your point, Darcy, you just walk away saying you want a no-nonsense quarterback. No nonsense. All ball. Don't have a lot of celebrity to you. Don't have a lot of things going off the field. And just kind of like the obsession with football. And I don't know if Kyler's that or not, but I know Jonathan Gannon wants that out of his guy. And so I think there's that reality. Also, it just feels like it's run its course. Yeah. This is a defensive-minded head coach that probably wants to play to that style, play to that defensive style. And one of the reasons why I think the offense has performed better under Jacoby than Kyler, because I thought Kyler had really good moments last year, is because, in my opinion, Kyler's so talented, he wants it to be about Kyler. There's always I can go make a play because I'm one of the best players on the field, one of the best athletes on the field. Jacoby's like, I'm not. I'll just go run the offense. I'll make good decisions. I'll distribute the ball to McBride and Marvin and Michael Wilson. We'll play good defense. I don't need you to talk about me at all. Kyler wants to be the person, and I can appreciate that. Yeah. I also think this, because to the point of what's next for Kyler Murray, right now, the #1 free agent quarterback heading into the 2026 year is probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
To my knowledge, where contracts sit with guys right now, right? Free.
Yes.
If Aaron's going to play, it's going to be in Pittsburgh. No questions asked. So there's just not a lot of quarterback bodies available for next year. The college quarterback class is so up and down, and a bunch of those kids, the more you hear, are going back because the money for them is just outrageous. Yep. And so you're looking at Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza as like the two names that you feel somewhat comfortable with. And so Kyler's going to be highly sought after. The only other name that you could throw into the equation might be Mac Jones, but he's under contract and he's made himself so much money if he's not the guy in the future in San Francisco. And so I just think Kyler will have so many options. The only thing I'd say this is that, the last thing I'd say is this. He has to play indoors, I think. I do believe that Kyler's got, or in Miami type of environment where weather isn't really an impact.
Oh, that's becoming easier and easier. Go ahead. You want to add to
that? No, I just think what Dan's saying is real, but it's the understanding that for Jacoby Brissett, it's about how you match with the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That's the same thing for Kyler Murray.
Correct.
How does he match with the next play caller? Right. How do they vibe also from a personality standpoint? We all remember the timeout, Kyler Murray's walking off of the field and he's having the back and forth with Cliff Kingsbury. That was when we started saying, okay, what's going on within that building? In the contract talks, it was you got to watch us show, whatever those things were, those addendums and red lines in his contract. And so you're starting to hear more of those things. And so if the play on the field isn't excellent, right? If it isn't top tier, then there aren't some of those intangibles that we normally associate with quarterbacks inside those locker rooms that keeps him there. Yeah. And so I think not only is it about where he plays, it's about who he plays with and who embraces that. When I've gotten to talk to him, I've enjoyed our
xe không kia có thể gửi xe video hay cũng đẩy gửi xe
không là do cái quyết định phân phối đưa video gây nhiều khỏe hơn khả năng kiểm soát bởi vì không phải là video không nghe
cái này cái cái lòng thôi
tôi đang nhận
đang giờ mình ngày hai người em đang cả ngày không có view nào đấy giờ cái video ấy thì không gì rồi thì video
cái bóng kênh khác là lấy một cái kênh khác nhiều các phần này
nhưng mà cái kênh này 200 đấy cái kênh này thì 200 nghìn cái kênh này là cái kênh này thì đây là cái đấy là 200 nha
lấy view rồi cái nhà
Anh có cái điện thoại mình sửa mấy hôm rồi.
rất là nhiều đấy em thì đến 100%.
Vì anh hôm nay ôm này 50.000. Mỗi lúc nãy em lật lên rồi bảo ốp ở ai đẹp thế? 50.000 một cái. 50.000 một cái. Mua ở lớn này định liền. Ở đây mua trên TikTok. Đây này Thảo Liên đã đăng.
trên kênh
cái này là của đơn dữ liệu của
Mấy cái ốp kia mấy nghìn hạt cũng tiền mà dùng một tháng nó đẹp.
rẻ hơn cái đẹp hơn này chưa cái đẹp gì rất hờ cứng đó rất là như là không muốn không muốn không thì làm nhưng mà sao làm gì để sửa lâu đến rất nhiều rồi chưa đâu vì đã sợ không có người yêu rồi bắt đầu do ấy chiếu này rõ lừ cũng có được ra xem thì cô này cũng đây cũng như là xong cái sự không thể tại long tuần càng nhất thành lúc này cũng như tất cả ôi ôi xem người ta nhập hàng người ta nhập kinh nghiệm đấy là đây luôn
Quên quên rồi video ấy. Đâu anh? Alo. Cái rảnh chỉ anh làm đây chỉ nhân viên gì nào? Rảnh em rảnh thì em biết chỉ cho nó tiện, nhưng em đang làm nó lại đơn việc về em. Cứ rảnh thì chỉ em phát. Anh làm là anh cho nó làm đây vừa rồi anh làm cái kênh này nó làm gì? Làm sọt nhé, nó làm dãy view này trắng. Son nguồn ở đô Win Trung Quốc. Cái làm thì gọi là lấy kênh thôi, chứ còn thực chất cái này làm nó doanh thu nó kém lắm. View nó phải có cả triệu view nó mới được ngày được 18-20 đô ấy. Chứ anh làm rồi mà. Thì anh mới đang bảo là chẳng có ai bảo em làm cái kia. Cái này có view kia nhưng nó là cái view rồi. Đây em rồi anh khởi trên sách kênh rồi nhưng vừa rồi anh có một cái đáp được còn 3 từ mà hôm qua về trên nhiều lắm trên như ngàn đại anh sợ lắm rồi kinh lắm còn nó lấy kênh ngon nó làm kênh mình kênh bé nó không là còn về đường kênh tích ấy mà nó thu hút được nó thu hút nó thu hút tạo các thứ nó bên ngầm kênh nó lấy được chứ còn như của mình cứ để tự nhiên thế đến lúc nó gò nó quẹt cả chế kênh ban đầu chính là anh làm cái đưa kênh bé và làm nó tiết kiệm tiền làm cũng ra đan mà làm ra đan lấy cà đồ mà là làm phát ra luôn nhưng mà không có cách để giữ được giữ ra không cách giữ kênh không thu hút. Không nó bảo anh nhưng mà làm cái dạng đấy thì được phải căn đến cuối tháng căn vừa anh đi căn cuối tháng thì làm nó có nhưng mà quay không một kênh để cùng chỉ làm đưa kênh mà làm nó bảo là cuối tháng làm rồi đến mùng 2 tháng đầu tháng thì đai kênh kênh đấy nhưng mà anh tại không mua kênh đó làm cuối tháng rồi
dân em mình sẽ
đây anh đang vội này cuối cùng việc cá nhân em bảo em nói chuyện thử nhé tiền anh đây đây nó tên là Long em giúp anh cái bây giờ bọn nó đang công việc nó còn chơi hết với nhau rồi đây nó nói chuyện
bây giờ là
anh ấy bảo làm nào
anh sẽ sử dụng như nào